in Belshir Vestige.
That's the map. And the player to the top left is, of course, for Stardale. Starting with Squirtle. I'm not quite sure what just happened, but yeah.
That hairstyle is really similar, though, that we're seeing.
It's still a haircut.
It is a haircut, but very similar.
Yeah, but it looks good.
It does look good. He's been needing it for a while.
Bottom right, we have his opponent. It's LGIM's YongHwa. This time, there was no weird words that just suddenly appeared in the intro. Wolf looked at me weird when I tried to introduce Squid. He was like, what? What just happened with you?
I felt like something weird was going on.
Yeah, something weird was going on.
I was worried about you.
I think I somehow tried to mix Startail, parting, and Squirtle in one word. Came up with starting. I tried to just save it somehow, and I was like, starting player.
At least you didn't say Squirtle.
Yeah, Squirtle would have been very, very difficult to rescue.
Yeah.
But I think I pulled it off. I mean,
you're fine.
The starting player in a single best of 3 between 2 players doesn't make that much sense, but yeah, it somehow worked.
Well, I gotta say, man, if you hadn't told everyone how weird you felt the intro was, maybe no one would have noticed except me. But some people out there would have noticed. You probably would have gotten some tweets. But it's okay.
No, I think it's fine. I have always the excuse that I'm still sick. I can pull that off for another few days.
Yeah?
Until I finally get well.
And
it was actually funny. Yesterday, so many people actually tweeted and messaged in the threads and were like, is that Carl Wolf? Is that really Carl Wolf casting? That guy sounds so weird. That can't be Carl.
Yeah, you still don't sound 100% normal. By the way, YongHwa with the Ninja Probe again.
Yeah, and this time it's actually a lot more dangerous than the last time, because if he uses that for a forward pylon, that will take an eternity, of course.
He's also got a lot of chrono energy and a very fast core.
This is one of the times, you know, when you sneak that probe in and you're not quite sure, is he gonna scout me? Is he not gonna scout me? But you already prepare for the eventually that there is no scout. So if he actually pulls that off, we might see a very, very quick 2-0 for YongHwa.
If I'm YongHwa, I'd do it. Because
me too.
I'm ahead in the series, and he didn't scout me. He has no reason to scout me.
That is...
He's even sending a second probe to make it look like he doesn't have a probe in the main, and that is his first scout.
That is awesome. He sells the idea of this being the first scouting probe. He plays it exactly as he needed to play it. Really, really well done.
Chrono boosting only the Warp Gate research back at home.
Yep. Really well done.
He is actually just going to do it.
Everything works out so well for him. There's not even a scouting probe out there for Squirtle.
Yeah.
Squirtle doesn't scout. He does not see that there is so much Chrono Boost energy, that there is Chrono Boost after Chrono Boost now on the Warp Gate research. He has no clue.
Yeah, he has no idea. Now he actually made 2 Zealots, so the Zealots are not going to be able to get across the base.
And here they are, the 3 additional gates. The 4 gate for YongHwa is on his way. When will he build the pylon at the top left?
Looks like he's going to do it as soon as he has 100 minerals.
Yeah. Will be very, very soon here.
He's got the minerals.
He can wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
The gateways are not ready just yet.
The probe he's also got right now could just walk across and make it at the bottom of the ramp too, to do a follow-up. He clicked on the probe, but he's not ready to make it just yet.
Nope.
He's not committed.
The timing is not ready just yet for him to get the pylon, but he will. And there it is.
Ooh, this is so tense for Squirtle. He can still hold this if he scouts, but if he just keeps rallying stalkers across the middle of the map, he's not going to be able to. He's going to have no chance.
And Squirtle just doesn't have the same amount of gateways.
You know what? Squirtle is actually just doing his own pressure right now. But YongHwa has way too many gateways. He can actually just warp in a sentry and start to defend, and then start warping in on the main. But he actually just does the 4 stalker warp in. And this Squirtle's going to freak out. He's going to cancel out pylons so fast.
There are the stalkers in the second round of warp-ins. Guess where they are going to be? They will be at the top left.
And Warp Gate research is not even done for Squirtle. It's just now finishing up right now. Stalker's taking out that Zealot. He doesn't know about the pylon in the main, though. He's not even checking for it.
He has no idea. There's even going to be the second pylon, isn't there? Yep. Builds a second pylon. Here's the warp in, and now Squirtle started looking at his like, what? Where did those guys come from? Oh my god.
No, he is basically screwed. The stalkers are not there yet, but they're about to be.
Too many pylons being warped in right now. He's already losing harvesters. Here comes the sentry for the force field. It was good, but he needs more warp-ins.
You know, he may actually be able to hold this, because these 2 Zealots that got warped in are not going to do anything at all. I don't even know why he's fighting with his probes. That's actually silly, but Yeah, the Zealots go in, and he kills them. Now he could just force field again. He might want to force it under those Stalkers. It's really nicely done there. Traps one.
It's actually crazy, but you're right. He might just hold this.
He's got the better probe count now as well. I think he's done it. I think that was poorly executed by YongHwa.
That actually just blows my mind. He holds this. He's actually able to hold this. The force fields on the ramp are good enough. This looked like YongHwa had no chance of losing this game. But now suddenly we have Squirtle with Blink on his way, whereas YongHwa is just about to finish his Twilight Council. And guess what? There's a pile at the bottom of the map.
Yeah. This is not a good situation for YongHwa at all. He's based on even stalker count with his opponent, and Squirtle has 3 sentries on top of that.
He's down in Harvesters. He's behind in his tech.
Yeah, he's behind
Not
in
by
gas.
a lot, but still.
Yeah, the reason why he's so behind in tech is because his gas, because he won't only for 4 gate with 1 gas. Robo's going up now for Squirtle. He wants to do his 4 gate with Robo's actually in the main for Squirtle. He wants to do his 4 gate with his Blink Stalker play with an Observer so he can jump in the main. Ooh,
Dark Shrine.
Not gonna work out.
No, not with Squirtle already building his robotics. Well, YongHwa, can you pull this off somehow?
He's gonna try.
Yeah, but Squittle's already at 50 supply, 52 against 38. And there is the scout. He knows about the pylon at the bottom.
Yep. He is thinking about going to kill it. He's not sure. He leaves the sentry at home, but brings only the stalkers down. Squirtle, on the other hand, will scout the pylon to the north, it looks like, but not the pylon to the east. Use some cardinal directions for you guys.
Where's the Observer? There we go. Observer being built now, and then he will have the high ground vision. Oh, nice. He spots the pylon to the top left.
Yep, he spots it, but he doesn't know about the one to the top right. That's where the DTs will be warped in.
Yep.
But he can probably suspect that because there was a pylon in general, that there's going to be some sort of DT play. He doesn't start a second Observer, though. Will he just leave the first one at home? Yes. Well, no. He didn't rally it, but he actually, now he's going to move it. DTs are ready, but he spots the second pylon. Will he be able to kill it? It's too far away.
It should give him a little bit of an indicator, though, what's going on here.
Yeah, I really think so. I'm a little bit surprised he's sending the Observer across the map. And he doesn't have sentries on top of the ramp, so if the DTs come in and kill all the sentries before he actually realizes what's going on.
The Immortal is done, doesn't get a set. No, he gets a second Immortal. And there they are, the T's
he's
come
actually
in.
going to need to target down these sentries. I can't believe he's not doing it.
He's seen it.
Wow.
He's seen it. Immortal has been started. Nice force fields. Really good force fields. The Stalkers could blink on top. No problem here, but he will have to cancel the expansion. That's the one thing that he will have to do. There it is.
Kill those Stalkers at least, though.
Well, he can't. He
well, now he can't, yeah. And
no,
he's got, oh, yeah, he's got Blink, of course. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he didn't really know that.
Yeah. You're right. That's actually a fair point. I was like, well, the Stalkers are trapped on the outside. I should have grabbed them, but you're right. You can just blink again. At this point, YongHwa is still behind, I think, but he's been able to get ahead in economy, at least start to take the first steps to getting ahead in economy by forcing that cancel, having his own Nexus up a little bit faster.
This game is getting actually pretty interesting here. At first, it really looked like it would be a clean 2-0 victory for YongHwa, and now it's just this back and forth game with every player taking a bit of a risk, trying to get a small lead here. It's actually pretty cool. To be honest with you, we have Squirtle with this lead and supply, but YongHwa now with an earlier expand. It's a pretty interesting Protoss versus Protoss, not your average PvP.
You know, I talked about what PvP is like when, you know, there's no max out and it goes on forever. That's what hell is like. Right now, we may find ourselves in PvP purgatory where it approaches, it looks really, you're not really sure if the game is going to end up in that game with that super long late game Colossus versus Colossus, but it may end up that way as the game goes longer. I don't think it will, though, because Squirtle has such a lead at this point. He's just going to keep picking off pylons, keep the pressure on. He's getting his own robotic support back at home. YongHwa looks inclined to go for the Warp Prism speed because he has his own Warp Prism already. But he doesn't have Blink, so using the Warp Prism is going to be pretty tough against an opponent who does have Blink defensively. He's going to use this for DTs probably, most likely. He's actually going already to pick up the 2 DTs that he saved earlier. And he's going to try to jump into the main base, maybe target down a structure. Could be really effective.
I have a quick look. Expansions are now ready. Okay, harvest accounts are actually a little bit in favor of Squirtle right now.
Yeah.
Even though YongHwa had this expansion up for a longer time, still a 20 supply lead for Squirtle. And the faster Colossi that he already started.
looking around. There is an observer at home.
Did he start extended thermal lance? Does he already complete that? Could you double check for Squirtle?
No, he doesn't start it yet.
Yeah, okay. So we have that. That's the advantage or one of the edges that YongHwa has in this game now.
If YongHwa dodged all these stalkers, if he actually gets into the main, warps in a sentry, and then blocks the units on the outside while he kills the stuff in the main, well,
then the Colossus
now,
will crush the force field. Yeah.
Yeah, the Colossus is out now.
Just came out.
He can't do that anymore, but if he had gone a little bit faster, that could have been the case.
But it's actually cool how he plays slalom with all these units and it just dodges every single one of them.
He actually gets in undetected, like a ninja, just like his first probe. But he's spotted now, and the observer's with the army, so he can't do anything, at least not at this particular moment in time.
And, well, doesn't do anything with it. Okay, War Prism's just back off again with those 2 DTs. And currently also range started for Squirtle. So we're heading into the Protoss versus Protoss light show again.
Yeah.
The Protoss Disco Ball is about to be ready.
The OP Protoss Ball.
Yeah, OP Protoss Ball.
The DT in the middle of the map is controlling the watchtower. Not going to do it for much longer, but just the way he zoned out these units, use the DT to control the watchtower, then dodge with the Warp Prism was really cool. He still has a Dark Shrine, so he can warp in DTs later as well in the late game, so that's something that you should not forget.
There comes the second robotics for both of those guys, so we will have the double Colossus production. I wonder how Squirtle is going to approach this. He has the edge this time, which you can still see with the 20 supply lead that we have for him. In the last game, he didn't get the good engagement and suddenly ended up in a position that he couldn't win. YongHwa just had better immortal counts, he had a better concave, was able to do so much more damage than Squirtle, who walked right into that. But now we have YongHwa still with a decent amount of army and also a third phase attempt, but just with less army supply than Squirtle. So Squirtle has definitely an edge over his opponent here, but position is so important in this matchup that this could definitely backfire. And also, if he gives YongHwa too much time and YongHwa capitalizes on the third that he's building, then things might turn around again.
Absolutely. Consider that the only advantage in army that Squirtle has is his Stalkers. The Colossus count is the same. In fact, you know, it's 16 Stalkers to 5 Stalkers in Squirtle's favor. Both players getting their Colossi out at the same time. You have Charge coming out first for YongHwa, though, and he's got the better Zealot lead, so he is starting to even things out a little bit here, and Squirtle now sees his third base, and it looks like he's going to try to punish it with an attack. This is so difficult to actually make work. Is he going to really try it, or is he just going to take his own third at home? He takes the third, but if he doesn't attack here, basically what he's going to be doing is accepting being behind in economy. But he was early ahead enough to where he might just think, alright, well, I'm going to let this go. My expansion is slightly behind, but I was slightly ahead before. I'm going to just trade even. In that case, it's so hard to make a choice like this. Do I actually commit to an attack? He's going to have the defender's advantage, the better concave. He's got DTs. What if he kills my observer somehow? Then I lose my army.
Yep.
What if I attack and his DTs come into my third? Do I have cannons there? That kind of question.
Another attempt with the War Prism. This time the Stalkers blink forward, but they are still not able to take down the War Prism. Only kill 5 hit points. The shields are gone. But yeah. He's spotted early enough by YongHwa to retreat.
Yeah, and he's making Archons with Dark Templar instead of Archon, or with High Templar, which is a little bit more gas efficient than when you go for the High Templar mix. So just making use of that. Squirtle is ready with a backstab with his Blink Stalkers. He goes for it.
And tries to take down those robotics. And that will of course be a huge problem for the Colossus production for YongHwa. He will lose both of them, and YongHwa had to retreat now, so that's going to be a bit of a problem, and he's also most likely going to get out here.
Well, yeah, he may lose a Colossus on his way out as well. Wow, but...
nice trap by YongHwa, really well done. Split the army, waited for the Stalkers, they blinked to their doom.
With killing both Robos, though, I think that was probably a welcome trade by Squirtle. Even though supplies evened out now,
and the robotics, the Colossus.
Yeah, he's going to have better Colossus count by killing that Colossus, by killing the Colossus production. But last game we saw Squirtle have a massive Colossus lead, and it didn't end up mattering.
Yeah. But
that was partially also due to YongHwa's Immortal count, and without robotics you can't build Colossi, or Immortals you can't build any robotics units.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It's pretty typical science, really. That's what it is. Typical science.
Yeah.
Science shows that without robotics, people are 100% less likely to build Observers, Immortals, or Colossi. Also, there was a recent study that Warp Prisms are also not constructed without robotics.
Yeah, I read that too.
I think it's true.
I think it's true as well. And I also heard that if you don't have the robotics facility, you can't also build the bay.
Yeah.
So it seems to be that this is about general
Well, there's a
knowledge
common
these days.
misconception that you need the robotics to build the Dark Shrine. That's not actually true.
And there's also another one. You can actually hallucinate a Colossus without owning a robotics facility or a robotics bay.
Yeah, but that's soon going to be outlawed.
You think?
Yeah, by the esports agencies of the world.
Okay.
No faking.
Yeah, well, I think it was always a little bit weird. How does my sentry know that how to build it? You know how to hallucinate a Colossus if I don't have one?
Yeah, it's kind of, is the technology there or not? Let's be real with each other.
Blizzard, come on, let's be real there for a second. Protoss, I mean.
Does that mean the Sentry is smarter than the Protoss technicians at the robotics? I don't know. By the way, we may have our real engagement now. There's a ton of Archons for YongHwa. He has a lead in supply. Are these Archons going to be enough to tank it? Oh, this is not a good position for Squirtle at all.
That
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Squirtle now with the stutter step back. A lot of Colossi here for him. He needs to warp in something as well. He needs something to just give him a bit of a meat shield here.
Oh, and that Observer is so low on health, he could actually snipe it and use DTs. Not quite going to get it. And
Squirtle, he has too many Colossi, doesn't he?
It's hard to say, man. The Immortals are a big help here as well with those Archons he just finished. I think he's got enough now to defend. That was so close, though. YongHwa almost took a fight that he should have never won.
Yeah, and we have so many Colossi still for Squirtle, whereas YongHwa just can't get any additional ones. Fourth base even built for Squirtle now. The Startail Protoss sends a few Zealots at the bottom left into the mineral line at the third base. There they are, chasing those probes off the mineral patches. The flash. And still at the top, we have Squirtle building unit after unit, warping in more and more Zealots, going for the additional Archons. YongHwa trying to poke, but this is too much.
It's too much. His micro was really good. His decision-making of what units to make was good as well. He's trying to make a last stand here, using the terrain against his opponent, but now the Archons and the Colossi are too much.
GG. Game over, and we are heading into a third one as the series is tied. Good job here by Squirtle. Yeah. Another chance to advance to the third round.
He had... I cannot believe he was able to even win this game, considering the pylon situation and all the units he lost when we did that attack that failed against a 4-gate. And YongHwa really botched that attack, but I'd say YongHwa's decision-making in the late game, composition-wise and how to engage, is definitely superior. So if YongHwa can actually be not behind in one of these games, in Colossi, for example, if he fights on even terms with Colossi and you give him that amount of control, that's scary. I would not want to face a YongHwa like that.
Man, YongHwa itself is just really scary. There we go. Abyssal City is going to be map number 3, a map that Protoss players hate unless it's a mirror match.
Yeah.
I actually think I've never seen a PvP on Abyssal City. To be completely honest with you, I think this is the first time I see a Protoss mirror match on this map.
I have seen a few. Usually Blink Stalker play. The big area to blink into the main base with. Just like Antigua. It's a lot of backstabbing you can do. I mean, I've seen this.
That's what you would expect here. With all those higher grounds and low grounds, what usually are really a big disadvantage for Protoss.
I remember I saw at least 1 or 2 Warp Prism 4 gates on this map with the Proxy Robo as well. Uh-oh, YongHwa needs a pause.
Oop. That was fast.